kid in the 80s.
You know what it's time for, don't you?
Ghostbusters!
It is. Oh, yes. So, folks, we are here. We're ready to do this. We've got the final trailer, the official international trailer. Went up a few days ago for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yes, Ghostbusters?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're watching your thing.
All right, here we go.
They told me to call somebody. Okay, bye. They said go ahead and watch it.
Dear God.
Is he here?
Who's that driving? Ooh.
Long? What kind of science?
Wow, it was so powerful it knocked over Shiki Baby.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay, dude, I have a
I found
theory.
this in my living room.
I think that was Egon.
You think that was Egon driving?
This thing is real? Somehow, a town that has no fault lines is shaking on a daily basis.
See, I still think
What is
That does kind of look like him. I'd have to pause the trailer to take a good look
Maybe
at
it's
it.
the apocalypse.
Oh my god.
This isn't a mine. It's a gateway.
What do we do?
I love this car.
There it is, the theme.
not quite the same thing.
What exactly is happening here?
We need to finish what our grandfather started.
Our grandfather, so
That's not good. Hey, bud.
Oh, man.
I don't know if that one was as revealing as the other trailer.
Oh, see, I think it was. I think, first of all, let's talk about the appearance of the terror dogs, because I noticed a couple things
And
there
Stay
that I
Puft.
caught. Yeah, I caught that, the teacher and mom, at one point there, the mother, if you notice, the shirt was sort of off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, so are we doing the Keymaster Gatekeeper thing?
Don't know.
Good question. I still am not sure. I know that when we watched the last trailer, you said the guy that was holding up the keys you thought might have been Venkman.
I think that might be Venkman.
It was such a quick glance. Unless I went back and actually paused that footage and looked, I couldn't tell you whether it was or not.
Well, I might be rescinding on that theory because it doesn't make much sense for Peter Venkman to be in a small town like that. You figured he'd still be in New York or
With Dana. Assuming they stayed together.
Assuming that they stayed together. Sigourney Weaver, I haven't heard if she's going to be part of this or not.
I believe she was. I think. I seem to recall hearing that she was part of it. I don't have complete confirmation on that or anything, but I seem to remember that she was.
It would have to be a flash one-off. Just here's Dana Barrett. Okay, bye.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've seen that Annie Potts is part of it. In the last trailer, it's announced that she's, that there's, obviously she's the steward, so to speak, of the house or whatever, giving the property over to Egon's family. At a minimum, that's who she is.
And then there's Dan Aykroyd. We heard his voice in the last trailer.
Yeah.
Just wondering how Egon procreated. Because it doesn't seem like he'd be the kind of guy who would...
Well... but,
and with who?
Well, but it's clear that the granddaughter is definitely him. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely a genetic connection there that you can tell. I'm very excited for the film. I'm going to be honest. I'm even more excited than I was before. I know it's out already internationally, and I've heard.
Is it?
Yeah, and I've heard. I've tried to avoid anything that would give me an idea of what's going to happen because I'm not that. I don't like spoilers, but. The general consensus seems to be there's a group of people that say, hey, it's fantastic, and then there's the other group that says, Well, it's kind of predictable the way and I'm like, well, yes, it's a love affair for fans, and I think that's what it was designed to be. So if that's what you're claiming it is, I think that was the point. I don't know.
People argue over a potato.
Well, okay, there's that. So I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out here in just a couple of weeks.
Well, there's a couple of things that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing Ecto-1 come back and just barrel the thing and I want to hear the theme song again because Ray Parker Jr. did an amazing job writing that theme song, and it sticks with you.
I wonder if they've brought him back for that, or if somebody else is doing it, or what's happening. I haven't. There's a lot of stuff like that we haven't really heard.
As long as you hear the first few chords, you're going to be fine. The dan, 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 and then the drum beat come in, and then the bass line. I mean, it's perfect. Paul Rudd clearly is some sort of science teacher at a high school or a middle school or whatever school that they're going to at the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that's the vehicle for new fans to come in and have somebody to relate to.
From what we've seen in the previous trailers and this one, I'm guessing that he's the guy through which the information of who their grandfather really was gets to the kids, which I actually find to be quite believable because it's funny to me the number of people that are within the age group of teenage to 20 that they don't really have a memory of Ghostbusters or whatever. So even in real life, you ask somebody about the Challenger explosion, for instance, something from our childhood.
Right.
It was right about the same time period that Ghostbusters was popular. And the kids today, they're like, what was the Challenger? They don't even know,
or the Berlin Wall falling.
Yeah, and then so there's something that's a very real world experience that they have no knowledge of whatsoever. So it is, in my mind, completely plausible that they wouldn't know that something like that occurred or whatever. I think it's very believable.
Well, this is also one of those movie franchises where if you know of Ghostbusters or your parents were fans of Ghostbusters, they end up showing it to their kids somewhere down the line. This is also one of those movies that they're going to take their kids with them to go see.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because it's one of those movies that lends to this kind of thing.
This is exactly, to me, this movie is really a great example of, I think, and I think you'll agree with me, one of the things we wanted to accomplish with 80s Allies, which was to explore the idea of this pop culture world and how it impacts us as a society. And here, watching one generation share it with another, this is exactly what the type of thing we're talking about how it's become such a part of the lexicon. Who you're going to call, Stay Puffed. There's certain things that
Slimer.
There's certain things that when we Slime itself.
Yeah.
There's certain things that when we say them, there's an immediate association with this particular franchise because it's become that big. How many places in the world could you go and say who you're going to call and not get some stranger going, Ghostbusters?
Well, you got the no smoking sign logo and everything.
Yeah.
And if I was trying to remember how old I was when I saw Ghostbusters 2, because those kids are about the same age that I was, I would flip out if I was allowed to drive around an Ecto-1 and use a proton pack. And I think I told you and I told all of you that if Ghostbusters was a legitimate profession, that's what I'd be right now.
Yeah. I'm very excited to see the film. I really, really am. Ghostbusters wasn't one of my primary franchises that I was interested in as a kid.
Was mine!
But I loved it as a child, and I'm real excited to go see it. And that just makes me more excited. I'm certain at least you and I, maybe Adrian will join us, maybe Dennis. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a group of us that are going to see this when it comes out. So as soon as it comes out, you can look for a review from us. We will try to keep the spoilers out of it or do one of our things where we have a partial non-spoiler part, and then we'll separate it out to make sure you don't get screwed out of a surprise or anything like that. And we have a wager going. We don't know what the wager's for, but I said Venkman's not going to make it through the movie.
Oh, yeah, you said Venkman's going to die. Yeah, we still haven't figured out what the wager is. And no, we're not going to shave our heads.
No, that's not happening.
That's ridiculous.
That was a horrible suggestion.
Yes. But it will be something to the effect of the show, and it's probably like an embarrassing type of scenario that we're going to end up wanting to do anyway because we're both ridiculous.
this is true. But anyway, so we'll get back to you on the bet and what happens, and we will get back to you with a review. So we hope you're as excited as we are to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. For Larry as Jim, we'll see you next time.
And if you have any suggestions, put them in the suggestion box below.
As a kid in the